This evening, or last night, in Gorton and Denton, history was made and Labour has been humbled. The winner is Hannah Spencer of the Green Party, 14,980 votes, nearly 41%. Reform came second with 10,578 votes. Labour trailed in third at 9,364 votes, a seat that delivered over 50% to Labour in 2024, a collapse of over 25 points. So let's be clear, this was not bad luck, it was cumulative error. The by-election was triggered after the resignation of Andrew Gwynn. His private remarks about voters exposed a disdain that many suspected had not they had not heard so plainly. That contempt didn't vanish with his departure; it lingered. It paralleled the disdain that was exposed by Mike Amesbury when he hit one of his own constituents. Labour lost that by-election when it was held as well, and this confirms a suspicion that parts of Labour speak about their electorate rather than speak to their electorate or speak for their electorate, and they speak down to their electorate and they treat them with contempt, and this is the response. That perception was reinforced by the Mike Amesbury story, different case, different facts. But the same impression, a political class insulated from consequence, a party that once claimed to be the voice of working people now appearing managerial and remote. And to that, add to that the blocking of Andy Burnham from standing, a misjudgment, a gamble, and it failed. And Sir Keir Starmer framed this contest as Labour versus Reform, a binary choice, a Macron strategy, vote Labour or let Farage in, but voters refused that framing. They chose someone who qualified as a plasterer 2 weeks ago, a plumber, Hannah Spencer, a candidate who said she gets things done under pressure, a local voice, not a national script. The Greens have achieved three things at once. First, they broke Labour's hold on a century-long red citadel. Second, they pushed Labour into third place. Third, they demonstrated that progressive voters are no longer frightened by the reform threat into automatic Labour loyalty. That is existential for Labour. Sir John Curtis has already pointed out the scale, a 26-point swing from Labour to Green. Apply that nationally and over half of Labour MPs would be vulnerable. Reform's candidate, Matt Goodwin, performed strongly but not strongly enough. He accused the Greens of riding a dangerous wave. He spoke of coalitions of Islamists and progressives. Nigel Farage claimed sectarian voting, yet the numbers show something broader. Nearly 15,000 people voted Green. This was not a niche protest, it was a realignment. And what of Reform? Goodwin's tone was combative, overconfident at times, unctuous. There was an assumption that Labour collapse would deliver the seat to him. It didn't. Reform embarrassed Labour, but it didn't win. This is significant for Farage. He has built momentum, but the result shows the right doesn't have a monopoly on insurgency. As for the Green leader, Zach Polanski, he declared that they were here to replace Labour. That is bold, perhaps premature, but tonight he has evidence. Now, the uncomfortable truth for Labour, this was inevitable. I said it at the beginning. It was inevitable because of Andrew Gwynn, because of Mike Amesbury, because of the contempt that Labour politicians have for the very people who elected them, who put them in power. Not because by-elections are hard for governments, but that is true but insufficient. It was inevitable because of tone. When voters sense they are being managed rather than represented, they drift. When they feel spoken down to, they retaliate. When scandal meets condescension, the moral contact or the moral contract fractures. Contempt is politically fatal. Labour leaflets presented the contest as a straight fight with Reform. Greens were marginalised in campaign literature. That misread the mood. The electorate is more fluid, more plural, less tribal. The turnout was 47%, high for a by-election. This was not apathy, this was decision. And then there is Symbolism, the first Green MP in Northern England, a plumber entering Parliament, apologising to customers because she's heading to Westminster. That cuts through. The Conservatives with 706 votes were barely present. The two-party grip has loosened. The fragmentation that divided the right after Brexit is now mirrored on the left. For Starmer, this is a warning, not yet a coup. Leadership challenges rarely erupt over one by-election, but narratives harden quickly. The idea that Labour is bleeding on both flanks is now embedded. The deeper question is philosophical, and it needs to be asked by both Starmer and by Kemi Badenoch, both of them blooded in this fight. Kemi Badenoch, she claims that she's turned the party round. She claims that she's a winner who's got something to say with 700-odd seats, with 700-odd votes in a national by-election. She is humiliated. And is Labour a cautious centrist party, managerial party seeking to reassure markets and institutions, or is it a movement rooted in moral solidarity and redistribution? It tries to be both without conviction, and as a result it will be neither. The Greens offered clarity, wealth taxes, climate urgency, Gaza solidarity, local voice. Whether one agrees or not, the message was direct. Reform offered clarity too. Immigration restriction, cultural grievance, anti-establishment fury. Labour offered managerial reassurance in an age of anxiety. Reassurance alone is thin gruel. Gorton and Denton is not a national earthquake, but it is a tremor, and tremors precede shifts. Labour has lost not only a seat, it has lost the assumption of inevitability. The Greens have gained not only an MP, they have gained plausibility. Reform has gained not only votes, it has gained evidence that Labour's heartlands are open territory. The old certainties have dissolved, and in Manchester, as they like to say, they do things differently, and tonight they did.